Okay, this is going to be a quick video for Windows users, how to set up a terminal that you can use that is similar to Linux or Mac OS. Alright, so what I have running here is VirtualBox, which is running an instance of Windows inside of my current operating system, which is Linux. Okay, so I'm running Windows inside of it so we can kind of see how you might install what you need for this course from Windows. Okay, so there's a terminal emulator called Cygwin. Alright, so just open that up in your favorite search engine, go to cygwin.com, and you're going to need to download the appropriate installer. So we want to go to install. Alright, now should be able to click on this first one here, and you can just go ahead and run it. Okay, so go install from internet. This is fine. Local package directory. So basically with this terminal emulator you can install additional programs into your terminal, and we'll talk more about what that means. Just click next, next, and we can just pick the first one. Okay, now at this point in the installation process we need to select which packages we want. Okay, so there's a few that are going to be really important. First, we are going to be using the programming language Python. Alright, so we need to install Python 3. There we go, Python 3. And bin stands for binary, so we want to install the latest version of Python here, right? And we don't need the source code, just the binary file to run. We're going to need that, and we're going to need, let's see, need SSH. It's probably in utils. Open SSH. Shells. Now let's just search. We need open SSH. There we go, networking. Alright, so open SSH, we need this one as well. We're going to install the latest of that. And these are basically little programs that you can run in your terminal. Alright, so you can install additional things if you want. That should be the main things that we need for this course anyway. Right, we might need a text editor, make sure Nano or something is installed. Editors. Yeah, let's install Nano. Okay, so we installed three things. We installed Python 3. It has to be Python 3, not Python 2. Python 3. We installed OpenSSH, which is going to be what allows us to connect to the CS server, and then a terminal-based text editor. And we'll go ahead and click Next. Those are the main things we want installed. This will take a few moments to install. But basically what's going to happen is in Linux I have this terminal. Okay, so this is, I open my terminal and I can type SSH and then my username CS151. You guys will have an additional 2 digits, and then at the host name. So what computer am I trying to connect to? I'm trying to connect to the computer at cs.indstate.edu. Okay, and I can enter that command, and then it asks me for my password. Okay, so I type in my password. You won't see any characters. That's fine. That's how Linux hides passwords, as you type them. And then you press enter, and now I'm connected. Alright, I'm logged in as the user CS151 at the CS server. Okay, so this is how you do it on Linux. And what I'm doing over here on the Windows machine is when this finishes installing, you're going to have a terminal application just like this. Okay, it's important to understand kind of what's happening here. This terminal window, if I open a new terminal window, this is on my machine. Okay, the current machine I'm using. Over here I've connected to the CS server. So all the commands that I run over here are running on the CS server, and they're not running on my machine. Okay, so see, this is what's called the command prompt. When I've opened up the terminal on my machine, this command prompt looks different. Okay, if I type who am I, okay, on this machine, my desktop computer, my username CS server, if I type who am I is a command. It's a computer program that runs, and this is running on the CS server, and it's asking who am I. My username on that system is CS151. Okay, so it's an important distinction. All of the commands that I run after I've logged into the CS server, they all run on the CS server, and I'm no longer executing things from my machine. Okay, there's a command called PWD, stands for Print Working Directory. Okay, when I log in on my local machine, my desktop, when I first open the terminal, it starts out in my home directory, and my home directory is /home/Luke. Now I can open a file browser, okay, and we can explore this. This is my home directory to start with. Now on a Linux system, / is a directory. It is the root directory of the file system. And if I open the home folder and then I open my username, this is the home folder for this user. And these are all the common things that you might see. The stuff on your desktop, the documents, you might have a downloads folder, pictures, that sort of stuff. Okay. Similarly, on the terminal, I can navigate around and see what's inside the different directories. Okay. So the terminal is just a text-based representation of this thing. If I type ls, that lists out the contents of my directory. So I am in my home directory /home/Luke. This is the same place as over here /home/Luke. And I see the same stuff. I have BB, documents, Dropbox, music, pictures, all the same stuff that I have over here. This is just a graphical way of displaying it. The terminal is just a text-based way. So I say ls to list out the contents of the current directory that I'm in. Okay, directories are just folders. So when I say over here, I want to go into BB, that's where I keep my Bitbucket projects, a lot of my programming stuff. I can change directories, CD, into my Bitbucket directory. You see over here my prompt changed. This tilde is a shortcut for my home directory. So I'm in my home directory, and then / then I'm inside an additional folder in there called BB. If I type ls, these are some of my projects that I have in here. And if I'm in BB here, in the graphical user interface, you see these are the same projects. I've got class stuff, CS course, EDU scripts, exam service, that sort of thing. Right? So it's important that you recognize that this is just a graphical way of representing what's on the file system, what's on your hard drive. Okay. In the terminal, you can do the same thing, but it's all text-based. I can't click. The mouse has virtually no use here. If I want to view what's inside of my directory, I type ls. If I want to navigate, over here, I double-click on something, or I click up here, right? If I want to navigate, I can change directories. If I want to go to the parent directory, I say ... Dot means go up one level. Now I'm back in my home directory. Change directory, ... I'm up one level. Okay, I was in /home/Luke. Now I am in just /home. I can change directories again and go up one level and go to the root of the file system. What happens if I go further? It doesn't let you. You can't go further than the root of the file system. So if I type ls, these are the files, or these are the files and folders that are in the root of the file system. And on Windows, this is similar to the C drive. Okay, so going back to the CS server, over here, it has a root directory of / as well. The location for the home directory is a little bit different. Okay, so if I say print working directory, this is where my terminal is looking right now. If I type ls, that lists out what's inside of my home directory. These are the items that are inside my home directory right now. Okay, so it's really important that you understand this is just a text-based interface for doing the similar type of thing you would do in any kind of file browser in your operating systems. Okay, so I can navigate by CD, change directory. I can go up a level, and I'll print my working directory to see where I am. I'm in the folder /, which is the root. Then there's a folder called U1. And then there's a folder or directory called class. If I type ls to see what's in there, this is where all of the student accounts are. Right, so here's all the CS151 accounts. CS151 01, 02, 03, right? So these are the home directories for all of your users. Okay, so it's important to understand that when we use the terminal, it's just a text-based interface. We're used to using the graphical interface where you can point and click and use the mouse. You can't use the mouse over here. So you have to use commands. You type in a command, cd, and I want to go to my home directory, CS151, and I'm changing directories. I'm in /u1 /class, and I'm changing directories to go to CS151. And that's in this current directory. Okay. Print working directory, it shows that's where I am. Now, I could only go into CS151 because it existed in my current working directory before. Now I don't have it in my current directory. So if I try to change directories to CS151, there's no such file or directory where I am. Okay? Similar to over here, if I open up my BB folder, I can't open up BB in here because it doesn't exist. I could open it up here. Right? That's what I just did over here. On the CS server, I went into my CS151 directory, but I couldn't go into another one called CS151 because it didn't exist. Alright? So, basically what we're doing over here with Windows is we're going to try to set up a terminal that behaves similar to the way a Linux terminal or a Mac OS terminal is going to behave, and you can connect the same way. Alright, so let's go back to Windows here. We're going to, it's finished installing, and we're going to create an icon on the desktop, and we're going to add an icon to the start menu. So basically just click finish. Let me see, it shows up there. And so now we double click on this, and most, if not most of the Linux commands will still work here. So even though we're in Windows, now we can use Linux commands. Okay, so I can say print working directory, and it tells me even though I'm on Windows, it says I'm in /home/user. Okay, so if I open up the file browser here, let's see, this PC, the C drive, users, user, Right, so your home directory, it treats just like Linux treats it. So on my Linux machine, this is the actual desktop that I'm working with. It's Ubuntu. If I say change directory to my home directory, the tilde is a shortcut for home, and then I say print working directory, that's my home directory, /home/Luke. Over here on this Windows machine, the username I just have as user. So when I print working directory, I'm in the home directory of user. Okay. So basically what this means is now I can just open this terminal and now I can connect to the CS server just like on Mac or on Linux. So I can say SSH, and then my username for the CS server, CS151, at cs.indstate.edu. Okay. You might get this when you first start. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes. Now you type in your password. Now again, now we're on the CS server. Here's the username, and we're at CS server. Okay, this is the current path that you're working in. Okay, a path is just a location to a file or folder on the file system. Okay, so when I say ls here, this lists out what's in my home directory on the CS server. That's the same as over here. Over here I've connected to the CS server. Change directories to my home directory. Tilde is a shortcut for that. No matter where I am in the terminal, I can do cd tilde and that takes me home. Print working directory, /u1/class, and then my username. Okay. Same over here, /u1/class, cs151. Okay. So both of these terminals are logged into the CS server under the account CS151. Okay, so you can log in multiple times in multiple different terminals as the same user. That's fine. And if I type ls here, we see the same directories. I've got a bin folder for my binary programs. I've got desktop, right? This sort of stuff. So you see that these two windows are the same. So if you're running Windows, I highly recommend you use Cygwin, install that, and install Python 3, OpenSSH, and Nano. Nano is a text editor, and we'll get into how to use that later. Okay. So I can make a file with Nano named file.txt, and I can just say hello, save it, X. And if I type ls, that lists out the contents of my directory. Okay, so now we see that file I just created, file.txt. And if I go over here and type ls, I see the file as well. So we see that both of these terminals are connected to the same location. Now file.txt does not exist on either one of these machines. It doesn't exist on my Linux machine, and in this Windows virtual environment it doesn't exist there either. It only exists on the CS server. Right? So anybody who's using Windows, I strongly recommend you install this and follow those instructions. And then we can kind of use the same commands for all the operating systems. All right? So that should do it for this video, and we'll move on to Linux and client-server relationships in the upcoming videos.